We're going to have a webinar this afternoon with one of our partners and a thought leader in the HCM and payroll space, and that's ADP, to talk about their SmartCompliance solutions. So without further ado, introduce Andrew McManus from ADP.
Thank you very much, Bill. So thank you very much. I first off want to thank RPI for having us out here in this very warm Kansas City. I left Fort Lauderdale this morning and it was about 80 degrees outside, so it's nice to get a full feel of the seasons again coming out here. So my name again is Andrew McManus. I'm the director of our strategic alliances. I manage the partnership between ADP and Infor, as well as the ecosystem of partners that are around that. So I have a very unique role at ADP where I wake up every day and I live and breathe Infor and our partners and how we can strategically go to market together to mutually benefit both of our clients in the space today. To give you a quick overview of what we're going to be running through today, I'm going to give a 30,000-foot view of the ADP and Infor partnership. I'm then going to take a very high-level overview of our SmartCompliance offering, and then we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into three specific areas, them being employment tax, wage payments. For those of you that might have heard George Marfranz's presentation a couple hours ago, it's going to be an abbreviated version of that, focusing on our payment solution. And then we'll take a brief dive into our wage garnishment solution that I know is very near and dear to Bill's heart. So taking a high-level overview of the ADP and Infor partnership, it's very focused on leveraging the expertise and the experience of both of our organizations. Together, our partnership offers a best of breed of technology through Infor and a compliance-focused service through ADP to meet the needs of both of our mutual clients today. ADP has been in the human capital management domestically and globally for the past 70 years, and Infor has taken this very unique, strategic, verticalized ERP and HCM solution to the market. We've been partnering for over a decade informally, but that partnership did come to formalization in 2016 when ADP became a complementary partner to Infor, which then expanded out, which was very focused on our compliance solution side of the house, so focus on domestic payroll partnership, and also focus very heavily on the ACA compliance partnership that we have today. We then expanded that partnership to the global space in 2018, thanks to this very small company out there that many of you probably have heard of, Koch Industries. And with that mutual client today, we developed a global payroll partnership. So any payroll opportunity that Infor is moving into outside the United States, they're often bringing ADP in to provide a lot of those payroll solutions where our pre-built integration to Infor GHR, we're able to satisfy that client's needs. We share over 175 clients across the multiple platforms that ADP offers, and as well the multiple platforms across Infinium, Lawson, the new GHR payroll platform that will be coming out soon from the Infor side. But when we look at a comprehensive solution that is there, we have pre-built integrations for our ADP global payroll to Infor's Cloud Suite GHR. We have SmartCompliance standard integrations for all of our Lawson and Infinium payroll clients. We also have integrations in development for SmartCompliance into Infor's new GHR payroll that'll be coming out. I actually just got off of a meeting at the St. Paul headquarters, or at the St. Paul office, talking about some of our integration development and where we're moving together as an organization. And both organizations have indeed committed to building out integrations, having them ready day one as clients move to that new payroll platform down the road. So taking a very high-level overview of the services that we have today, range from employment tax, wage garnishments, and wage payments, and offering a virtual banking solution. But there's also a very large myriad of different solutions that we have out there that I want to note on. So tax credits is a service that many organizations don't actually take advantage of today. And it's going out and screening employees and new hires that they have coming on for eligible work opportunity tax credits. This is a service that can actually bring money back into the organization. And I've actually worked with some clients that have offset the entire upgrade of a human capital management ERP solution with the returns that tax credits was able to provide to them. We also do employment verification. So this is the work number that as employees are going out getting new cars, loans, new house, anything that they're looking to do, they can call an automated verification number to verify their employment as well as their income for those. So it's alleviating some of the calls that might be entering your payroll or HR department that we're able to help assist with. Health compliance is another one. So this is our ACA compliance, the 1094 and 1095 production. Infor partnered with us in 2016 with a partnership to offer this to their clients that were seeking this need as that very complex ACA compliance was rolling out. And then last but not least is unemployment claims. This is one of the only controllable taxes as an employer that you're able to help streamline and mitigate the risk that might be out there, as well as reduce some of those costs that might be coming in around that. So before we take a deep dive into the employment tax and the wage payments and the wage garnishment side, I really want to show you with a visual representation of where you can really see where InForce Technology is really taking over. It's doing all of the pay inputs, the pay calculation. It's nothing that ADP is doing. It's simply when we get that complete payroll with those pre-built integrations that we have, ADP is picking up and handling all of these secondary post-payroll processing services for you. So we're handling the direct deposits, the tax deposits, any agency notices, W-2 production. These are all services that our ADP compliance solutions is able to help out. So moving into it, we're going to take a quick dive into the employment tax side of it. So this is a comprehensive outsourced service where we're able to provide regulatory compliance for you, helping advise you to what changes are going on from an employment tax perspective, giving you notices or updates around any regulations that are changing or any legislation that might be coming down the pike to make you very aware of, so that you're able to proactively manage that instead of reactively go in. So it's a service that we handle the deposits, the filings on your behalf. We also help with amendments and notices. So we will work with you if there's a amendment or that needs to happen based on the taxes, or there's a notice that comes back from an agency. Our service team works directly with you to help remedy that notice, respond to that agency properly, and help remedy that solution as quickly as possible. We also give you visibility into what's exactly going on from an employment tax perspective through our ADP SmartCompliance portal to give you exactly what's going on with the deposits that we've made and the filings on your behalf, and you can proactively track and get visibility to what's going on with those. So as many of you this may look very similar to the typical end-to-end tax process. And this is what it looks like if you're managing that process in-house today. It's a lot of researching, handling the tax deposits, reconciliation, filing those taxes, year-end, agency notices, amendment filings. And when you're looking at using ADP, this is what it moves down to. You're taking a potentially 58-point process down to roughly 10 or 12 interactions that you might have to do from a tax perspective. And a lot of these interactions that you're doing are simply just reviewing and approving the information that is there, making sure that there's no extraneous outliers saying that we're going to file a massive amount on your behalf. It's really just kind of checking and double checking the information before we go ahead and handle the filings on your behalf. Another piece of our tax filing, our employment tax filing service, is registration services. So this is something that not always a client's top of mind, but it's something that does come up periodically, especially as we talk about the healthcare industry. The healthcare industry is seeing massive M&A, massive divestitures, and often you're having to stand up new tax IDs, different jurisdictions that you're moving into based on this M&A, where ADP can actually go in, help you obtain the required information to create registration application, handle all of it on your behalf, and then within one day, ADP is going to provide you the client account number and any other filing details that are necessary. It moves it into at least an applied for, so you're able to go and be very proactive and start filing those taxes, so that if there's any sort of amendments that have to happen post, it's something that we can easily manage for you as well. And one thing that I do want to mention, very unique to all of our compliance solutions out there, is our specific service model. And it's really around a dedicated account manager that you're going to have. And I like to walk back right to left on this, because it tells a little bit better of a story about the average experience. I mean, we have 8 years plus with ADP for every single person that works within our compliance solutions division when we're talking from a service side. All of them are certified payroll practitioners, or they are in the process of working towards that certification. We have a 98% client retention. It really speaks leaps and bounds to the level of service that we're providing to our clients, as well as the partnership that we have with our external ERP partners, Infor, and the SI community, RPI. Here we are today. Now, phone calls typically returned in a 2-hour time frame, and it really helps to kind of understand a little bit more about what their responsibilities are. So they're really focusing on managing your relationship. They're your single point of contact for all ADP notices, anything that's going on from a tax perspective, a wage garnishment perspective, a wage payment perspective. They're going to work with you to provide an enhanced client experience. And the other thing that they really work with is being very proactive with your leadership to set expectations about and aligning our services with your goals and initiatives as an organization. I'll talk a little bit more specifically about that from a wage payments perspective. But when we talk about some of the metrics that they periodically sit down and review with you, these are going to be a client index where we're actually going to benchmark you against the thousands and thousands of clients that ADP has. Where you actually stack up against people within your industry that are on the same ERP with you. They're also on Infor. It's all going to be where you actually stand based on the number of amendments that have taken place, the notices that are coming back, late submissions, and it really helps you understand and see a little bit more of the value of what ADP is actually providing from an employment tax perspective. Then moving into the last stage of it, it's actually right around the corner, W-2s. So this is one of the year-end services that we provide as part of our employment tax. So we're going to do all the production of W-2 and 1099 earnings summaries, and we'll mail those out to your employees, make them available online, and they are all e-file eligible to work with H&R Block, Liberty Tax, TurboTax, everybody that's out there, we're able to do the e-file for the W-2 as well. So that wraps up a little bit about the year-end tax filing and the employment tax solution overall. And what we're going to take a quick dive into is the wage payment side of the house. So ADP offers a wide access of ways for your employees to receive their pay. So we're talking direct deposit. That's a traditional direct deposit, an ACH file that your employees would be receiving. Then if you heard George's presentation a little bit earlier talking about our Wisely Pay, this is our pay card solution, which offers a prepaid debit card that employees are going to be able to receive their paycheck onto and use it as they would a normal debit card that would be there. Then there's same-day term pay, which is now Wisely Check. So this is a solution that ADP is same-day term pay compliant in all 50 states. It is something that no other provider is able to do. Even for California, we're able to manage a lot of those complex laws that are out there for anybody that's in California. We do regular ADP printed checks. And then there's also mobile app and website that employees are able to interact with and understand a little bit more about their pay, where their pay is being spent, and different items that I'll touch on a little bit later. So when we talk about it, the integration, so we have a single interface, a single file that's going from Infor when you're processing payroll, passing all that information into ADP, where it's going to update the choice of payment the employee selected, card enrollments, banking network, the pay statements, the reconciliations, all is going to be done within that single point of contact within that integration point. So this is something that we actually talked about very in depth at the meeting in St. Paul when we talked about what are some future developments that ADP and Infor could move into as we look to enhance some of the integrations that are there. You know, we're looking at a file integration now, but we're exploring, you know, different areas of API integrations and seeing how we can have some of our Wisely Pay solution as part of one of the widgets potentially later on down the road within the Landmark platform when you do log into the Infor system. So touching into the Wisely Pay, so I talked about that card a little bit more. So it's an EMV chip security. So this is a Visa branded debit card that employees are going to be able to safely and securely receive their pay on, whether they have a bank account or they don't have a bank account. It's able to be integrated with peer-to-peer platforms. So this is your Venmo, your PayPal, your Zelle Pay, and as well it's also part of the digital wallet. So Google Pay, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay. We've built out and developed this solution to be part of the digital wallet as we go on. So this pay card solution, it's beyond, it gives employees access to their cash and a broad network of fee-free ATMs and banks as well as point of sale. So employees are able to go in and access their money back surcharge-free at over 85,000 ATMs across the country. As well, they're able to walk into do an over-the-counter withdrawal from a teller at over 99,000 Visa member banks. So talking about access and viability, getting that pay in their hand through a pay card solution is here more than it ever has been before. So there's also the access to 24/7 toll-free cardholder services. So if a card's lost, if there's something that's going on, it's not the employee calling the payroll or HR department. They're calling ADP Wisely, and we're dealing with that directly with the employee. So there's no additional burden. It's just an added value for as an employer to you to be able to provide to your employees. So as I talked about a little bit earlier, focusing specifically on the mobile pay solutions and the apps that are out there today. So the Wisely app is focused around automated guidance. How is this employee spending their pay? Do they want to kind of set some money aside for a rainy day fund, is like we like to call it? It gives them access to their tracking to track their spending and see where this money is going. You know, they got this big paycheck and all of a sudden it's gone out of nowhere. It's, you know, the Gen Zs, millennials, everybody's seeing these a little bit more. How are they, you know, if I'm cutting out that Starbucks out of my daily routine, I'm able to save this much more money and able to proactively set it away for a rainy day fund. So what this solution really does is it helps educate employees on how to be more financially sufficient or independent. So it really focuses on managing the money, getting the direct deposits. They're able to pay their bills. They're able to write checks off of the solution. They're able to map for their future, giving them financial guidance, track their spending, notifications and promotions about anything that's going on in the Wisely, and then it's a secure access to their funds. They're able to view this the exact same way that they would a normal bank account. They're able to go in, same if it was Chase or BB&T or PNC. They're able to go in and view this information with some self-service features around it. They're able to go in and request a new card if something goes on. Again, it's not additional burden to you as a HR or payroll practitioner. It's specifically an added benefit for you. So as I mentioned on earlier is same-day termination pay. So same-day termination pay, so this is the perspective as an administrator. So this is what you would see as a payroll practitioner, as an HR practitioner. If you have somebody that is going to be terminating and you need to issue a same-day pay, you're able to go in, create exactly what the amount is for, And what that will do is when you go ahead and process that, it'll put the employee number, everything in there, and what that will do is it'll send an authorization code. And that will send a positive pay file to our ADP bank. So as soon as that authorization code is inputted into the middle section right here, that will make it a valid check. And this will be all done off of ADP's bank account. So again, you're not going to have to deal with the reconciliation, potential fraud that might come from it. So it's something that's compliant in all 50 states and something that is leading the marketplace in what's out there today. So one quick thing I want to do is go over our wage garnishment, so our comprehensive wage garnishment solution. Very similar to what I showed you guys a little bit earlier about the employment tax side. This is what the typical wage garnishment process can really look like. There are companies that have dedicated entire divisions, upwards of 15 to 20 people, that might be managing this process in-house today. And as you look at it, this is what the solution would look like with ADP. We're taking a solution, or a process that takes typically 37, 38 interactions or touches from an employee and moves it down to roughly 8. And again, a lot of that is going to be simply just reviewing the information that we're automatically doing on your behalf. So we'll receive the garnishment on your behalf, analyze the order, ensure and do the pre-qualification process. We'll then process the garnishment. We're also going to notify the employee that there's a garnishment on their pay going on. And then if they have a question, they can actually call an 800 number and ADP will answer those questions on your behalf. So think about your frontline leaders that are out there, your managers. If you're in the healthcare space, how many people you might have that have garnishments that are out there. It averages 1 in 14 employees in the United States have a garnishment against their pay. You talk about the time that is spent not only from you processing that order and that garnishment from an HR or payroll practitioner perspective, but you look at from a frontline leader perspective. If there's any questions that employee has, they're going to their manager saying, hey, why am I being garnished this? What's going on with my pay? And it's just additional time that's being taken out of the productivity of your organization, where they can simply direct them to ADP, answer the question on their behalf, and understand a little bit more about it. So as we process that order, notify the employee, we're also going to handle the disbursements to the third parties, whether it's child support, it's a tax, it's a lien, or any type of garnishment that is out there. We'll also set up a public access for anybody that is pertaining, so courts, spouse, parent or parental child supervisor, anything like that. They're going to be able to go in and see the status of that garnishment, see where it's going, and what information is being taking on around that. We'll also handle the calculation until that garnishment is fulfilled, so that once that garnishment does hit its fulfillment, we'll go ahead and turn off that garnishment so that there's no additional garnishment out of that employee. You look at over-garnishing the employee, getting yourself at risk as an employer.